the CSI photo exhibit, specifically photograph 3031. Do you recognize that as your vehicle?
Yes.
You recognize that as the vehicle that you were in the drive-thru in?
Yes.
Showing you photograph 3034. You recognize that as Michael's vehicle?
Yes.
Showing you photograph 3574. You recognize the interior of Michael's vehicle?
Yes.
And specifically, you recognize that there are eggshells on the seat right here in the driver's seat.
Yes.
You see that?
I do.
You see the eggshells, you'd agree, here in the sort of door sill as well, correct?
I do.
As well as the egg yolk that's up here near the steering wheel.
Yes.
Michael didn't egg his own vehicle.
No.
You did.
Yes.
You heard the testimony of Detective Ware that she saw a yolky substance actually on his pants. You heard that testimony?
Yes.
In addition to egging Michael's vehicle, you also threw eggs on Michael's person.
No.
So you don't know how that egg residue got on his pants?
Probably from the car. When he got out, the door was closed when I threw the eggs at the car.
The door was closed when you threw the eggs?
I believe so, yes. I'm assuming when he opened the door, the eggs dropped down and fell into his car.
Okay. And your testimony before this jury is that that incident occurred before Sawyer's football game.
Yes.
So like in the 7 o'clock range.
Yep.
And your testimony before this jury is that you did that. You got eggs, these eggs, I assume,
Yes.
because Michael had taken your cell phone.
Correct.
So your response to Michael taking your cell phone is to go in the home, go in the refrigerator, and get a pack of eggs, correct?
Yes.
Michael is out, he's in his car, and to get your cell phone back, you start pelting his car with eggs.
I threw some eggs at his car, yes.
You did that before Michael left.
Yes.
So if Michael got eggs in his car, on his person, he, of course, didn't take apparently any efforts to clean himself off or clean any of the eggs out before he drove off to the football game, clearly.
Objection, speculation.
Hold on. Overruled. You can answer the question. No, he got in his car and left. I don't think it was that much on his pants either. So,
Got in his car, sat on the eggs, left the eggs in his door sill, just did nothing about all the eggs and egg yolk that you had just covered him with before he went to this football game.
apparently not.
Was Jaden home during this egg throwing incident?
No, Jaden left. Jaden was gone.
Jaden was home during the incident where you claim that Mr. Redlick broke the door to the primary bathroom.
Both children were home, yes.
Yes?
It's been a while, yes.
You want to look at it?
It's okay. No,
You downloaded your phone?
no, I trust you.
Your phone was in working order the evening of January 11th into the 12th, correct?
Yes?
Nothing broken about it.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't recall. I don't believe my phone was broken. No, I don't remember that.
You're saying it's possible it was broken?
Possible, because I don't remember, but
Your phone number was 901-355-4234, correct?
yes.
And Michael's phone number was 408-829-1960, correct?
Yes.
And you used that cell phone to exchange text messages with Michael frequently.
Yes.
Specifically, on the date of the 11th, you exchanged messages.
Yes.
You used this phone to sign up for the MeetMindful account, correct?
I don't know, there was a couple of phones in evidence, so I'm not really sure, but I think I used my email to sign up for MeetMindful.
Well, you logged, but you browsed to MeetMindful here, on this phone, did
Whatever
you
phone
not?
I was using, yes.
I'm going to show you what's in evidence in States 44. These are the MeetMindful records, Ms. Redlick. Look at page 5. And the line became active, 12/5/18. Is that consistent with your recollection whenever you created your account on MeetMindful.com?
Sounds about right.
And when creating your account on MeetMindful.com, you listed your dating status as separated, did you not?
Okay, yes.
That was a lie.
At that point, I suppose, yes.
Ms. Redlick, a little more than a week later, showing you what's in evidence as States 58, the email drafted on 12/14/2018, or sent rather on 12/14/2018, you sent this email. Read the email to the jury, please, Ms. Redlick.
You are a lying, rotten son of a bitch. Nice way to talk about your daughter, too. I'm done with you, Mike. We should talk about ending this. I'm ready. You are the most untrustworthy person I've ever known, and I have every right to choose not to be with that kind of person. You had every opportunity to tell me about this the other night. 2012, really.
Ms. Redlick, my understanding from your direct testimony was that you had access to Mr. Redlick's email account, correct?
Yes.
On December 14th, 2018, you went into Mr. Redlick's email account, yes?
I think so, yes.
You were browsing Mr. Redlick's email account back to messages that were sent and received on 2012, correct?
Yeah, I think I was looking through his LinkedIn.
You were looking through his email, not his LinkedIn,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And the messages that you were sort of scrolling through, were all the way back in 2012, correct?
I suppose.
While digging back through time, you come across this particular email. An email between Michael Redlick and someone named E. Corrigan at brooks.edu, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Redlick, you explained on direct that Michael was previously married to a woman named Kim Corrigan, did you not?
Yes, or Corrigan, yes. I'm not sure of the first name.
Well, you said Kim Corrigan in your direct.
I said that name rang a bell. I know he was married to a Corrigan.
Okay. You don't know if this is the same Corrigan.
I think I was tipped off on the LinkedIn first, and I suspected that that was the Corrigan.
But you're not sure.
No.
So not being sure of who this actually was, you sent this email in anger at Mike.
Yes.
You acknowledge that this email is hypocritical, do you not?
I do.
Because at the same time that you are sending this email, you are a couple of, few days past a week into being on MeetMindful, yes?
Yes.
Matching with people on MeetMindful, yes?
Yes.
And exchanging messages with men on MeetMindful.
Yes.
Michael doesn't know that on December 14th, 2018, does he not?
He does not.
In fact, in December, around this time period, Michael is wanting to make this marriage work.
I was under that impression for the most part.
So yes, he was.
Yes.
On the other hand, Ms. Redlick had not wanted to be married to Michael for years.
No, I wouldn't say that's true.
You wouldn't say that's true.
No, that I didn't want to be married to him for years? Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, you had not wanted to be married to Michael for years.
No, I wouldn't say that's true.
You filed for divorce in March of 2019, correct?
Yes.
And you told this jury that after you filed for divorce, Michael started weaponizing the divorce, did he not?
Yes.
He would threaten you with the prospect of basically leaving you destitute,
Yes.
out on the street,
Yes.
with no money
Yes.
and no Winter Park home.
Right.
A couple of months before the actual divorce, he had moved out of about a month after you filed for divorce, he moved out of the house. It's about April, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and it wasn't even quite a month. It was a couple weeks.
You were happier when Michael wasn't living in that home, were you not?
No, because he was there all the time, and essentially it was like he was still living there. We just weren't.
When Michael wasn't at the house, you were happier.
Not necessarily, no.
So you're not saying that Michael's presence made you unhappy?
Our fighting, and yes, his presence when we're fighting, yes. And
So when you were at the house and Michael wasn't there, that was a better environment for you.
for the kids, yes, and yes,
And you.
yes.
You never wanted Michael to move back into that home.
I wanted my marriage to work deep down.
You never wanted Michael to move back into that home. You testified to that on direct, that you did not want him to return.
No, I didn't, yes.
A life without Michael Redlick was a life that you were looking forward to living.
Well, life at peace with Michael Redlick.
Without him in your life as your husband.
If it was not going to be at peace, then no. But not with, no, he's the father of my children. He's not going to be out of my life.
Oh, not entirely, but you wanted a life beyond Michael, correct?
Yes, at that point, yes.
You recognize the name Eric Barker, do you not?
I do.
Eric Barker is a criminal defense attorney, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Can we approach?
Barker is a criminal defense attorney, correct?
Yes.
And at one point in time, you were considering hiring Mr. Barker as a criminal defense attorney, correct?
Objection, relevance.
Not necessarily.
Just waiting to come back up. Mr. Parnell, come up. Ask the question again, Mr. Wiggins.
There was a moment in time that you were considering hiring Mr. Barker as your defense attorney, correct?
I don't know that I was considering that. I was listening to him.
Well, you met with him, correct?
Yes.
And you consulted with him about the facts of your case.
Yes.
Ms. Redlick. During the course of this incident, you armed yourself with a knife, did you not?
Yes.
And in your direct testimony, you said that you used a, quote, long knife to kill your husband, correct?
Yes.
Which knife did you use to kill your husband?
A long knife with a brown handle?
The one on the floor?
Yes.
You cleaned that knife afterwards, correct?
No.
So that it never made it into the sink.
No.
You said that you used a sharper knife to slit your own wrist, correct?
Yes.
Which knife did you use to slit your wrists?
It's a silver one.
That was in the sink.
I think it was.
So that knife made it into the sink.
I think so.
Did you clean that knife after you slit your wrists?
I don't recall cleaning it, no.
So the knife that you selected to stab your husband was a bit duller, correct?
I suppose.
Let's talk about the actual, or your story regarding the death of your husband. You have told this jury that he has taken a bite of your hamburger, correct?
Yes.
And then he spits it at you,
Yes.
right? It's at this point that you stand up
Yes.
and you grab that McDonald's bag and such, and you begin to throw it on the counter or the island, right?
Right.
Mr. Redlick is behind you,
Yes.
and you feel yourself get hit in the head.
He grabs me and I fall. Then I get hit in the head.
I thought you stumbled.
Yeah, well, he grabbed me first, which I tried to turn, and then I tripped up on my feet and fell.
So you fall, and then it's while you are still on the ground that you feel something hit your head.
Yes.
Could you tell if it was an object or a fist or something else?
Elbow, fist, I don't know what it was.
But not like a blunt object like a bat or a mallet.
I didn't think it was an object, no.
It's at that point that you are pulled back up by your hair. Is that what happens next?
Well, I attempted to get up on my own, and he was too far on top of me, so
Where are you at when he's now too far on top of you?
coming up, trying to get up off the ground.
Where specifically? Where specifically, or is he too far on top of you to get on top of you?
So am I using this?
Permission to allow the witness to use the laser pointer, Your Honor?
Yes, that's fine.
I do this.
I might need to turn it on for you. Here. It's on. Put the laser pointer to where you were whenever he was too far on top of you for you to get up, please.
I'm in this corridor between here and here,
Okay? So,
facing that way, on my knees.
on your knees, facing towards the cabinets on the far wall where the scale is at. Yes? And when you say he's too on top of you to get up, is he actually standing, he's standing over you at this point?
Yes.
And is it this point that he picks you up and by the hair?
No, I'm going to get up like this, and I don't know where exactly he's at, but I know his head slammed into my head.
So as you're getting up, you feel your head on his head.
I feel the back of my head on his head.
Then it's at that point that he takes your head and he slams it onto the stovetop area. Yes?
I wouldn't say right at that point, no. I reached up and with my right hand to pull myself up. And as I'm pulling myself up and trying to turn around to face him, That's when he grabbed my hair and slammed my head onto the,
Slams your head into the stovetop, yes?
yes,
And at this point, you have a 6'1", 240-pound man pressed against your body, yes?
yes,
Pressing you against that island.
yes,
The next thing that you say happens is that he begins to take his fist and he's rubbing it in your face. That was your story, right?
took my head and he held it down. It was a very awkward position. I couldn't move because it was, A, hurting, and yes, he had me pinned, so he held my head down first.
So your neck is sort of like cricked against the corner of that island at that point.
Yes,
Now he's using this force to keep your head down,
yes,
and he is still on top of you. His 240-pound body is still pressing you into that island.
yes,
You can feel the island on your body.
yes,
This is when the rubbing happens.
yes.
'Cause he doesn't hit you.
He doesn't punch me, no. Well, he hit me in the back of the head, but
In the back, where your hair covers, correct?
yes,
On the skin that's exposed, he doesn't strike. And then is it at this moment that he decides that he's going to put his hands over your nose and mouth?
yes,
As I understood it, you are at this point sort of turned sort of a little bit over, correct?
right,
So your side and your arms are sort of being pressed into the island.
yes,
At this moment, this 240-pound man is putting all of his weight and effort and rage into your body.
yes.
And you can feel it in your ribs.
No, I can feel it on my face and my head.
You don't remember feeling anything in your ribs as he's crushing you into that island?
I mean, yes, the whole left side of my body was hurting.
So he's on top of you, pressing you with all that rage and all that might, and you are, as I understand it, able to, with him on top, reach over with your left hand or right hand to locate the knife.
My right hand, that was the only free hand I had.
Is his chest on you?
Um,
His chest is sort of pressing into you?
no.
More his stomach and his arms?
More his legs and his arms, yes.
Okay, so with the free hand, you are able to grab the knife from that far drawer at the end.
Yes,
Your testimony is that he doesn't immediately react to you getting the knife, correct?
he reacts, he lets my head go.
A little bit.
Yes,
And when he lets your head go, you're able to go from sort of this position to more like this position.
able to break my arm free, yeah, the left arm.
And now you're kind of squared up with Mr. Redlick.
I wouldn't say squared up, I don't know, it was kind of an awkward feeling, so,
More square than you were. You're not sort of twisted like you were before.
right.
You're sort of more,
My legs are still kind of twisted, but
legs are twisted, but now your back is kind of more square than it was before.
yes, I'd say that.
And Mr. Redlick is still right there pressed up against you.
Yes,
And his reaction to, because he doesn't have his hands on your mouth anymore, right?
right.
His reaction, and he's still full of this rage, correct?
Yes,
You see it in his eyes.
yes,
He's angry.
yes,
And you think that he's going to maybe kill you in this moment.
yes,
And he sees you with the knife. And his reaction, you say, is he takes his hand and he shoves with all of his might your chin back against that island, correct?
yes,
And so now you feel that the edge of that marble pressed into you.
somewhat, yes.
Well, so he wasn't pushing that hard?
Yes, I mean, I felt it, yes.
Because he's pushing hard.
He shoved me, yes, he shoved my face back, yes.
Well, if it wasn't that hard, you should tell the jury if it wasn't with that.
Just that my lower body was kind of twisted, so, and I know what I felt, but, you know, I don't know how it looked.
But you're not saying he didn't use an extraordinary amount of force to sort of push you back against that island, correct?
He absolutely used force to push my head back, yes.
And it's in that moment that you take the knife and you jab it into his shoulder.
Right.
But that doesn't stop him. That doesn't dissuade him. Correct?
After he stabbed, yes, after he was stabbed.
Well, yesterday you said that he still kind of kept coming after he was stabbed.
I don't know that I said that.
You said there wasn't an immediate reaction to him being stabbed and that he sort of continued to force himself on you for...
When I grabbed the knife and I held it again toward him, he did not stop.
So he stops when he gets stabbed. That's your testimony today.
Yes, I mean, yes.
So you're able to go from sort of this position now more upright.
Yes,
You sort of feel the release of pressure off your back. Yes?
I feel the release and pressure of him off of me.
You feel his hand, which had been forced down your face, come off, correct?
Yes.
And he is standing there and he begins to bleed. Yes?
I don't know. I ran.
You ran. So let's talk about that. You told the 911 operator the altercation started at 10:30, correct?
Yes, I think.
You also told the 911 operator that you heard moaning from the bathroom, correct?
I think I did say moaning at one point.
So when you're in the bathroom and you're hearing moaning, Michael's alive.
Yes.
Do you recall telling the 911 operator that after you emerged from the bathroom, you found Michael on the floor and you tried to give him mouth to mouth? You remember saying that, yes?
That I did what now? I'm sorry.
That you gave him mouth to mouth after you emerged.
Yes.
And you testified to that yesterday.
Yes.
You also talked to Terrell Tucker about that, didn't you?
Yes.
And in fact, you told Terrell Tucker that you gave him mouth to mouth until you vomited on him, correct?
No, I did not say that. She's totally wrong about that.
She's wrong about that.
Yes.
When you were sitting with Terrell Tucker, you saw her writing notes when you were talking, right?
I saw her handwriting notes,
Yeah. Okay.
and I said I smelled something like vomit from coming, but there was no vomit. I said it smelled like vomit. So she got that wrong.
I want some clarity. So you come out, you say it's about 15 minutes, you think you're in, correct?
I don't really know how long. It was a while. It wasn't quick,
Had to be less than an hour, though, we know.
right?
So when you come out and you see him, you think he might be being dramatic at first, correct?
That was just an initial thought. Yes, I was shocked.
And then there's blood everywhere.
It's quite a bit of blood.
And you're looking at your husband who's on the floor, not responding, yes?
Yes.
And the first thing that you did was you lift his shirt up to look at the wound, correct? Well, let me phrase it like this. You eventually say you do mouth to mouth on him, right?
Yes.
But before you do mouth to mouth, you lift up his shirt and you look at the wound.
Yes.
And you actually press your hand on that wound and watch the blood flow under your fingers.
I don't know that I got on my fingers, but yes, I saw it.
Well, you touched a wound and blood didn't get on you?
I saw blood come out. That's all I recall.
When you pressed on the wound.
Yes.
Then you do the CPR.
Yes.
But before you do the CPR, you are engaged in this effort to find your phone. Can't find your phone, right?
Right.
And you're looking and this phone, you said, you see it.
Yes.
It was camouflaged. It was camouflaged on a black jacket,
Yes.
this phone, right? So it's camouflaged on the black jacket, you see it, and you get it, right?
Yes.
And you are standing in the immediate proximity of your husband,
Yes.
looking down on him unresponsive,
Yes.
having seen that wound and pressed on that wound and seen the blood flow, yes?
Yes.
And you realize this is serious.
Yes.
And you think to yourself, I should call 911 because he needs help, correct?
Yes.
He needs professionals to come in and try to save his life.
I don't believe that he was dead at that point.
You didn't believe he was dead.
I said I believe he was dead, yes.
So you did CPR on a dead man?
At that moment, I was hoping that he wasn't.
Okay, so you thought there was a chance that this man could still be saved, because otherwise you wouldn't have done CPR,
I
right?
suppose, yes.
So you're standing there, you have your phone in your hand, you know, I think this man could be saved. And the best way of saving him is to dial 911, correct, Ms. Redlick?
Yes.
You mentioned on direct that you had no business doing CPR, did you not?
Yes, I'm not trained.
You're not trained, you have no idea how to do CPR.
No,
You've never given mouth-to-mouth on a person or a dummy or anyone.
no.
So, standing there over your husband in this moment where you think he can be saved, knowing that 911 is the route to that possibility,
Yes.
you set your phone down.
Objection, misstating her testimony.
Well, did you keep your phone in your hand?
I'll sustain that.
I don't remember. I just remember looking at his face and I was freaking out and I'm like, well, and I guess my thought was,
Well, no, I'm not asking what your thought was. I don't care where your phone was at. What I do care about is you're standing over him. You thought I can call 911 right now, and instead of doing that, Ms. Redlick,
Objection, again, misstating her testimony.
Overruled.
instead of taking your finger and doing three little moves, 911, you begin to perform amateur CPR on him, correct?
yes,
So you stood in that home with the power to call for help, and you let your husband bleed to death on that floor.
he had already bled to death. When I was doing the blowing into his mouth, I was wondering if I could recover him or something. I didn't,
So which is it?
and I thought there.
Objection.
that
Can
needed to
she
be done
answer the question?
immediately. So,
Hold on, stop. Let her finish the question. You said, Ms. Redlick, I was wondering if I could recover him or something. I didn't. And Mr. Wiggins, your question was, so which one is it? That's the last question.
Which one is it? Is he dead, or you think it's possible to
well,
save him?
if he could be recovered, something would have to be done immediately. And so, yes, I thought perhaps I should do that.
Are you telling this jury that you thought it was impossible to both dial 911 and do CPR? You thought
No,
it was
it's
an
not
either or?
impossible. No.
So you could have done it,
Yes,
and you chose not to.
I dialed 911 right after that.
No. In that moment, you chose not to.
Right.
So in these fleeting moments, you think Mr. Redlick can be saved. You choose not to save him.
I wouldn't put it that way, no.
It is at 10:52 that you make this one and only sort of attempt at a 911 call. You hit 911, 911, correct?
Yes.
And you know that it doesn't connect.
Yes.
No one's on the other end of that attempt.
No.
We're now heading towards 11 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
At 11 o'clock on January 11th, 2019, you knew Mr. Redlick was dead.
Yes.
No doubt.
No doubt.
You were awake,
Yes.
and it's at this point you begin to clean up the scene.
Yes, somewhat.
So the cleaning effort starts very shortly after you realize Mr. Redlick is dead.
Yes.
You had your phone in the 11 o'clock hour, correct?
Yes.
You're using your phone in the 11 o'clock hour.
I think I had my phone, yes.
Well, you were using your phone in the 11 o'clock hour.
I don't know that I was using it.
Well, what hour do you think you started deleting text messages?
I guess it was between 11 and 12 or something like that.
So 11 o'clock hour, you're beginning to delete stuff from your phone, correct?
Or midnight hour, I'm not sure.
Did not call 911 in the 11 o'clock hour.
No,
All right, so now it's midnight. You're still awake,
yes,
and you're still cleaning the house.
no,
So you think your entire cleanup effort was from 11 to midnight?
there was some in the morning too. I don't know, there wasn't an entire hour of cleaning, no.
Was it sort of sporadic through the time that you were awake?
I think it was pretty concentrated in that initial attempt.
And the concentration actually is, you start in the kitchen, do you not, Ms. Redlick?
I don't remember where I started. There were towels everywhere. I was slipping in blood. I was just wiping up blood. And
Mops?
the mop, I think I used in the kitchen area, but that was it.
You got some cleaner out?
No, I don't remember getting cleaner out.
This is some of the towels and the mop and the bucket that you used when you began to clean the scene, correct?
Yes,
And amongst those towels is a T-shirt, correct?
I guess, yes.
Well, you put it there, right?
I don't remember. I mean, you're telling me it's there, then it's there.
You doubt that it's there?
No,
You've been sitting through this trial, correct?
yes,
This is Michael's shirt, correct?
yes,
You took that shirt off his body, correct?
yes.
What hour did you decide to start taking his clothes off?
That was when I was assessing the situation,
Well,
when I found him.
yesterday you said you just kind of lifted his shirt up a little bit. You didn't say anything about taking his shirt off yesterday.
Initially, I just lifted the shirt.
So when does the shirt come off?
I don't know, shortly after that.
That had to take a lot of effort, right?
I don't remember.
He's a large man.
Yes,
He's dead weight,
yes,
literally. And you have to kind of move him up and wiggle his shirt off, correct?
yes,
And everything that you have wrought upon him is laid bare to you at this point, correct?
yes,
And while you're cleaning, you take that shirt and you throw it amongst the towels that you've been using to alter the scene, correct?
No, I think in the morning I was gathering up more of the towels and putting them in a pile.
Oh, so this was part of the morning cleanup.
I believe so, yes.
Ms. Redlick, I'm showing you photograph 3438. This is the kitchen area, correct?
Yes,
This is right next to the knife you said you used to kill your husband, correct?
yes,
This would have been one of the areas that you got the mop out for, right?
yes,
'Cause there's a lot of blood in this area.
yes.
And would this have been part of the nighttime cleaning or the morning cleaning?
The mopping,
Yes.
I want to say it was at night.
Think you used the mop both at night and in the morning?
No, I don't think so.
So mop at night, mop and towels at night, but just towels in the morning?
I was just picking up the towels in the morning.
Okay, so it is now 1 o'clock in the morning. You're awake.
You might be still awake, yes.
You were awake, correct? Are you still cleaning at 1 o'clock in the morning?
No,
You were cleaning after midnight, yes?
times are, I'm not real positive, but
You have your phone, yes?
yes,
You know Mr. Redlick is dead on the floor, yes?
yes,
and you do not call 911.
No.
You would have this jury believe that you fell asleep next to your dead husband, correct?
Proper question, objection and proper questioning.
You can answer.
What's the question?
You would have this jury believe that you fell asleep next to your dead husband,
Yes, eventually.
and that would have been in the 1 o'clock hour, correct?
Don't know exactly when I fell asleep.
Could have been later than 1 o'clock.
I don't know.
You believe you woke up at 7 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
And you wake up at 7, you still have your phone,
Yes.
it's still working,
Yes.
and you begin sort of, at this point now, we know, picking up towels and sort of tidying things up some more.
I don't know if I did it right at that moment.
Okay. Could have been a little later.
Yeah.
At some point, Ms. Redlick, you turned the focus from cleaning the house to cleaning yourself, correct?
I think I rinsed my hands a couple times, yes.
So you went in the shower and you were cleaning blood off yourself.
No, I was near the linen closet at that point. I do remember touching that handle. I think I attempted to, I don't know if I actually turned it on or not, but I was thinking about washing my hand under the shower head at that point, as I was,
Went over to the sink and tried to wash yourself up?
I might have washed my hands there,
Was
yes.
this in the morning or in the evening?
I don't remember.
Clean yourself more than once?
I don't remember. I didn't clean myself up very much at all. I changed my pants in the morning.
As part of your cleaning effort, you started throwing things away. Yes?
Yeah, I believe that was in the morning.
So this was part of the morning cleanup.
I believe so, yes.
And it appears at some point during this cleanup, Ms. Redlick, that you get thirsty, right?
No,
Well, you handle that jug of milk with blood on it, with blood on your hands, correct?
yes, I did.
So were you modifying the scene or were you getting a glass of milk?
The milk was out on the counter because I gave Sawyer a glass of milk the night before.
So this was part of changing the scene, modifying the scene.
I walked
Objection,
to the
argument.
kitchen
Hold on.
And I threw away,
Ms. Redlick, hold on.
I'm sorry.
You say it's argumentative?
Yes.
No. Overruled. You can answer that.
Okay, and the question is again, I'm sorry.
Where was it, Ms. Redlick?
On the counter?
Where on the counter?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But we're talking about in the kitchen area.
Yes,
Hadn't been knocked over in this whole attack, correct?
it's a big kitchen area. There's a lot of counter. No, I don't believe it was knocked over.
But you can't remember.
No.
But it's out in the area where you say this attack occurred, and you're picking it up and you're putting it away.
I don't know that it was in the exact spot of the attack because that's the stovetop, so it was in a different area.
You mentioned the stovetop. Is that as the stovetop, Ms. Redlick?
I do.
What's that just placed there on the stovetop?
It's a lemon.
As part of your cleanup effort, in the area that you say this attack occurred, there was blood from Michael, correct?
Not in that direct area that it The stovetop, in front of the stovetop, no.
So he didn't bleed much in front of the stovetop.
I didn't notice any blood there, no.
Not much cleaning to do in the area of the attack.
No.
Okay, so 7 o'clock, you begin to search how to slit your wrists, correct?
Yes.
And your explanation for why you began to do this is you began to think about your kids, correct?
Yes.
And so while you think about your kids and you think about beginning to take your own life.
Very irrational, yes.
We move to the 8 o'clock hour. Miss Redlick, you still have your phone.
Yes.
You do not call 911.
No.
You are continuing to tidy up the house, correct?
I don't know what I was doing at that point.
Possible that you were still engaging in moving things around and picking things up, yes?
It's possible.
And in the 8 o'clock hour, you are continuing to search on how to slit your own wrists, right?
I don't remember. If it's on there, then yes.
Looking at the timeline report, help refresh your recollection?
No, I believe you. It's fine.
Well, I don't want you to believe me. What I say doesn't matter. It's what you say. Do you remember looking up how to slit
I'd
your
have to
wrists?
see it then.
Okay, let's see it. At 38 seconds. How long to die before you slit your wrists?
Okay, yes.
So 8 o'clock hour, on your phone, using your phone to Google how to slit your wrist, correct?
Yes.
It would be accurate to say that if you're still Googling how to slit your wrist, you haven't slit your wrist yet. You to do Google searches on how to slit your wrist in that 8:21 range, correct?
Yes.
You do not flip over to the phone app and dial 911 at this point, correct?
Correct.
Now we move to the 9 o'clock hour. Have you slit your wrist yet?
I don't know.
How soon before you call 911 did you slit your wrists?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Well, how long did you let yourself bleed, Miss Redlick, before you dialed 911?
I don't remember how long I bled. I just don't remember. I don't know.
Was it an hour? You let yourself bleed for an hour?
Let myself bleed. I don't know that you can stop yourself from bleeding.
You're right, that's a bad question. Did you let yourself bleed without calling 911 for an hour?
I don't know. I don't. Yes, if at that point I slit my wrist, then yes.
Well, at what point did you slit your wrist? You haven't said.
I don't remember. I don't.
So, let's look at the knives, Miss Redlick. This is the knife you killed Michael Redlick with.
It's the knife I stabbed him with, yes.
It's the knife that caused him to die.
Yes.
Is that where you dropped it and left it after you stabbed him?
No, I didn't drop it. I left it with him.
You left it with him?
I didn't drop the knife onto the ground.
Yesterday, in your direct examination, you said that the knife just kind of dropped
I let go of the knife.
and gravity acted upon it.
I guess it dropped. I don't know. I didn't see it. I ran the opposite direction.
And actually, yesterday, you said that You felt like the attack was still ongoing, right? It had not ceased.
Yes.
And while the attack is still ongoing, you let go of this deadly instrument, correct?
When the attack was still ongoing was after I let go, meaning,
Yes, you felt the attack was still ongoing after you stabbed him.
yes.
And in that
Would've
moment
been.
where you say the attack was still ongoing, you let go of the weapon and it drops, or not, I don't know what your testimony is today, correct?
You let go of me, and then I let go.
But you thought the threat was still there,
Yes,
and you let go of the weapon
yes,
in the immediate proximity of your attacker, correct?
yes,
And turned your back on him.
because he let me go.
But you thought the attack was still coming.
I thought perhaps it could. So
That
now
is
I
not the
could get
final
away.
resting place of the knife, is it, Miss Redlick?
I don't, it very well could not be. I don't,
Because you're mopping in that area.
right.
So you would have picked the knife up that you used to kill Mr. Redlick at some point,
I
yes?
could have touched the knife, yes.
Well, it's not a could have, Miss Redlick. You know what you did. What did you do?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
Tell this jury what you did with the knife after you emerge and Mr. Redlick is dead on the floor.
Objection, can counsel ask questions?
You did.
What's the question again?
Repeat your question, Mr.
Miss Redlick,
Yes.
tell this jury what you did with the knife after you emerged and found Mr. Redlick dead on the floor.
I didn't do anything with the knife. At some point, it might have gotten moved when I was moving things, the towels and stuff.
Was there someone else in the house?
No,
So when you say it might have gotten moved, who moved it?
he or I.
So you're saying Mr. Redlick moved the knife?
I don't know what I don't know what, I don't really understand the question.
The question is, I want to know what you did with the murder weapon after you murdered Mr.
Objection,
Redlick.
argumentative.
Overruled.
I stabbed him and I ran to the bathroom, so I don't know what happened to the knife at that point.
Okay?
However, it could have possibly been on the floor there, and I never picked it up to clean it or do any of that, so
So is that your testimony? Your testimony is that you clean up the McDonald's and you move the milk and you get the mop out, but the murder weapon you leave right where you found it. Is that your testimony to this jury?
I don't know that I found it per se there. It could have been moved, however, I was not intending to touch that, yes.
It is still not clear to me whether you touched it or not. Did you touch the knife?
I might have, yes.
You
But
remember
I also knew it was what I used to stab him, so, you know,
Okay, so you might have. So we'll leave it at that, Miss Redlick. The knife that you used to slit your own wrists,
yes,
is it that silver knife right here?
that's it, yes,
That's the sharp knife that you used to slit your own wrists.
yes.
And after you slit your wrist, you put it in the safe.
Well, that was after I slit my wrist. I think this was all before 911.
Well, where'd you slit your wrists at?
Um,
In the home.
I don't even remember that.
Miss Redlick, you did not slit your wrist because you wanted to be with Michael in the afterlife, did you?
I don't know if I was thinking rationally about anything at that point.
Miss Redlick, you slit your wrist because you didn't want to be in that chair answering for what you're having to answer for today. Isn't that true?
There were a lot of things going through my mind.
And that was one of them, that you didn't want to have to answer for what you did. And so that's why you slit your wrists.
I was concerned. I was afraid.
One of the reasons why you slit your wrists is because you didn't want to have to answer
Objection,
for what you
asked
did.
and answered.
Didn't answer my question.
Did not. Objection is overruled. Repeat your question, Mr. Wiggins.
One of the reasons why you slit your wrists is because you didn't want to have to answer for what you did.
I suppose that could be one.
Okay. Ms. Redlick, it is only when you are bleeding that you dial 911, correct?
After I was bleeding, yes.
So after you bleed is when you use your finger to make those 3 motions.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Redlick, let's talk about a few other things. I'd like to discuss some of the statements that you've made through the course of this case. You admit now, in trial, that you killed your husband, correct?
Yes.
On January 18th, 2019, law enforcement showed up at your house.
Yes.
They showed up to execute a search warrant.
Yes.
Execute a search warrant on your person to get a DNA standard from you, correct?
Yes.
And to search your home, correct?
Yes.
You were at your home when the police arrived,
Yes.
and you were placed into a vehicle by Detective Ware.
Yes.
And you recall her reading a search warrant to you.
Yes.
Let's play that portion, Ms. Redlick. Okay, we're going to publish what's in evidence as States 41. And we're going to start from the 5-minute and 20-second mark, Ms. Redlick.
Needed without coming back before the court. A proper inventory and receipt shall be given for any evidence seized, and a completed duplicate copy of the search warrant shall be delivered to Danielle Justine Redlick or left with his or her property. An original of the search warrant and return reporting the execution of the warrant and an inventory of any evidence or property seized under the search warrant shall be filed with the court within 10 days of the date of issuance. It is further directed that any evidence or property seized under this warrant shall be brought before a court in proper jurisdiction to be disposed of.
I did not murder my husband. Please, I don't understand this jargon.
According to law, upon request, ordered and sealed this 16th day of January 2019, signed by Judge Gail A. Adams. Okay. What don't you understand?
You're saying the saliva, when there was resuscitation done, that's second degree murder?
No, I'm collecting saliva standards from you, as is in this warrant, to be tested.
Because of the resuscitation?
Because of,
Ms. Redlick, you just heard yourself tell Detective Ware that you did not murder your husband. You heard that?
Yes.
You were lying to her when you told her that, correct?
I stabbed my husband. I don't consider it. Wasn't considering that murder.
Oh, so what you were trying to get across is that you acted in self-defense in this passage.
Yes, I wasn't trying to get it across, but yes.
That's what you thought you were communicating.
No, I didn't think I was communicating that necessarily.
No, because actually what you say right after that is, why would you want my DNA? Was it for the saliva for the resuscitation? That's what you say next, correct?
Yes, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
You were trying to give the impression that the only reason that your DNA would be on Mr. Redlick is because you tried to save him. That's the impression you were trying to give.
I wasn't trying to give any impressions. I was trying to get some impressions. I was curious as to what was happening.
You were trying to throw her off the scent, possibly.
Do what now?
You were trying to throw her off the scent. You were trying to give her the impression that you were not involved in this crime, correct?
I don't know if I was trying to give her any impression. I just hadn't been able to tell my story.
Let's listen to another piece of audio, Ms. Redlick. If we go back in time just a little bit, you reached out to Detective Ware, and you got a call back from her. Yes?
Yes,
And this was on the 13th of 2018 in January.
I think so, yes.
You had been in the Bake Rack facility,
Yes,
and they came to you and they gave you the phone. Yes?
no.
Well, you got on the phone, right?
Oh, I thought you meant my phone.
You were on the phone with Detective Ware.
Yes.
Okay, let's listen to a portion of what's in evidence of States 40.
This is Detective Ware, the reinsurance because of his religion that needs to be taking place, you know, things like that.
Yeah, and also, I just like, I happened to be, like, it was late last night when I was transferred over to, EMIT, and I saw news, a brief story saying a suspicious death had occurred, and so, I don't know what that, I mean, I know what that means, but at the same time, what are you telling people, and I was, you know, how do we move forward on this, if you would like to?
That's really up to you. Now if you,
I reported to the dispatcher when I called what happened, so
Did you hear yourself tell Detective Ware in that phone call, I reported to the dispatcher what had happened when I called? You heard yourself say that, correct?
Yes, that,
That's my only question at the moment. When you told Detective Ware that you already gave your story to the dispatcher, you wanted Detective Ware to believe that you had told the truth to the dispatcher, correct?
that absolutely wasn't the full story, so
No. Answer my question. You wanted Detective Ware to believe that you had told the truth to the dispatcher, correct?
yes.
And because if she had believed that you told the truth to the dispatcher, you wouldn't be sitting where you're sitting right now, correct?
Objection, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
No, I asked if I could move.
Please don't answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should know that.
Okay, let's keep playing.
I wondered if you guys were just looking into it from there. I mean, I'm fine. I guess I'm just looking what to do here. Because it's just, you know, things need to get done. And I feel like a lot of people thinking, you know, the wrong things or whatever. Not that.
right, so what you saw on the news is the only thing that we released to the media. Nothing else is going to be released.
You didn't want people thinking that you had taken your husband's life, correct?
I had not been able to tell the whole story yet, so
You didn't want people thinking that you had taken your husband's life, correct?
I murdered my husband, correct?
Let's go to the 11-minute mark of this conversation.
501 1302.
1302. And I was told that you were the one that informed the children about their dad.
So I was not the one. My sergeant was there, and also the Victim Service Center. A lady from the Victim Service Center in Orange County, she actually did the notification to the children.
Okay. So, do you know what they were told?
They were just told that your husband passed away and that you were in the hospital. And that was it.
And so no one asked how?
No.
Okay.
And even if they did, we wouldn't have given them that information.
Okay, so that's just not being released yet, so you guys further determine on your end, is that correct?
Correct. That won't be released.
Okay. All right, do you have any other advice or direction for me at this point?
No, just if you have any other questions, you know, you are more than willing to reach out and contact me, and I'll get back to you.
Well, I'm willing to talk, I just want to make sure that that's okay.
Right.
That I'm not opposed to it at all. I've told everybody the story here. And I guess yesterday I was just filling up with, you know, just not knowing, these situations are obviously, you know, not perfect clarity when you're dealing with them.
Right.
So, yeah, I might just, call Matt and then, perhaps I give you a call back and explain to you what I've explained to everyone else, or I don't know if you have access to those reports or not, but.
Ms. Redlick, you just heard yourself tell Detective Ware, I'm willing to talk. You know, I've already told other people in here what happened, correct? You heard yourself say that.
Yes, I did.
And then you went on to say, perhaps I'll give you a call back and explain to you what I've explained to everyone else. You heard yourself say that, correct?
I think I heard that.
You want to hear it again?
No, it's okay.
Well, if you doubt it, I'll play it again.
No, I don't doubt it. It's okay.
So did you say that?
Yes.
One of the people that you've told your story to in the Baker Act facility is Frederick Copeland, correct?
I think he overheard what I was telling. I might have told him bits and pieces, yes.
The story you told Mr. Copeland was that Mr. Redlick stabbed himself, correct?
He says that I did, then maybe I did. I don't remember saying that.
You told Mr. Copeland that Michael Redlick had stabbed himself, correct?
Yes,
You lied to Mr. Copeland.
yes.
You wanted Mr. Copeland to believe you.
I don't know that it mattered what Mr. Copeland thought at that point to me.
Well, you actually suggest to Detective Ware, hey, you should go talk to the people I've already talked to in here, because I've told them the story, right?
I think I was just referring to, you know, I hadn't got to the full story yet,
Miss Redlick,
yes.
you tell Frederick Copeland a lie about what happened, right?
Objection asked and answered.
You invite Detective Ware to come interview one of the people who you lied to, correct?
Okay, yes.
Because you wanted Detective Ware to hear the lie you had told.
I think I was wanting her to talk to me, or I was ready to talk, period.
I'm not talking about you, Miss Redlick. I'm talking about you wanted Detective Ware to hear the lie you had told Frederick Copeland.
No, I wanted her to hear from me.
Do you dispute that you didn't invite her to go talk to the people you've already talked to in
I know
there?
I said that. I think I was just saying that I was prepared to talk, that I'm, you know, that's something that I want to do, so,
Another person that you spoke to in the facility was Terrell Tucker, correct?
yes.
And you gave Miss Tucker a detailed account of what happened, right?
I would say yes.
And you told Miss Tucker about the Sam Katie comment, correct?
I did.
So, and you actually told Miss Tucker that Michael said the comment Sam Katie more than once.
Her details were very
No,
off. in
you're
my
not
recollection.
here to comment on another witness. You're here to answer questions, Miss Redlick. Did you tell Miss Tucker that Michael Redlick had made this Sam Katie comment on more than one occasion?
No,
You told Miss Tucker that Michael had come to the bathroom door and yelled, "Sam Katie," didn't you?
No,
Well, you told the jury on direct that Mr. Redlick had said Sam Katie once, right?
yes,
And that would have been, well, you're still at the breakfast nook,
right,
before he takes a bite of the hamburger.
yes,
Let's talk about Sam Katie, Miss Redlick. Are you saying that this is from the movie Cape Fear?
yes,
And this is a movie that you watched a little less than 3 weeks before you took your husband's life.
yes,
And you told this jury that Michael Redlick is standing before you and he is saying Sam Katie, which is a name, right?
yes,
And he's saying it at you.
yes,
And you told this jury that he's saying, and he only said it once, right?
I think it was just once, yes,
Okay. And you told this jury that Sam Katie is the bad guy in the movie.
yes,
Ms. Redlick, there's no character named Sam Katie in Cape Fear, is there?
Objection, counsel testifying.
I thought there was.
Would, you're not sure, you can't remember?
Now that the way you're asking me, I'm not sure, but I thought I was sure.
Okay, so you're not sure. Would looking at a page from IMDb maybe help refresh your recollection?
What's IMDb?
You know, where they have the cast and crew of a movie? You think that would refresh your recollection of whether that character exists?
Okay,
You think?
yes,
IMDb.
Yes.
Ms. Redlick, I'm showing you a printout from Cape Fear IMDb. And I'm going to go to the second or third page. Who did you say played Sam Katie?
Robert De Niro?
Okay. I want you to look at the name of Robert De Niro's character.
Max Cady,
And I want you to look at the name of Nick Nolte's character.
Sam Bowden.
Okay. So there is no Sam Katie in this, Redlick, correct?
I guess I got the name mixed up.
You got the name mixed up.
Yes, said it, and I just recall that being it.
Are you sure this really happened?
Yes,
Cape Fear isn't about a man who's terrorizing two women, is it? It's actually about a convict who is trying to punish the lawyer who didn't get him off.
right, which entails terrorizing his wife.
You told Ms. Tucker that you did not call 911 because you couldn't find your phone, correct?
Yes,
That was a lie.
yes,
You told Ms. Tucker that Michael took the knife from your hand. That was a lie.
I don't believe I said that.
Well, you told Ms. Tucker that he made a stabbing motion toward himself, correct?
He said, "What are you going to stab me?" That's what I believe I told her.
And you told her something. If that was an exact quote, you gave Ms. Redlick the impression that Mr. Redlick disarmed you and had the knife, correct?
Yes,
And that was a lie.
yes,
No one you lied to Ms. Tucker, did they?
no,
You chose to lie.
I lied.
You chose to lie.
Yes,
You lied to Marcia Inglis.
no, I never spoke to Marcia Inglis from the hospital.
But Marcia Inglis overheard your statement, right?
Which one?
The one where you called and you said that your husband died of a heart attack?
I didn't say that. I said I'm waiting on the autopsy report, which wasn't released for weeks until after I was arrested. I still didn't know exactly.
Okay. Ms. Redlick, you are willing to lie if you think it'll serve your interests, correct?
No.
Well, you thought it served your interests to lie to the folks that we've talked about thus far, right?
I think it served my interest of being confused and not knowing how to handle the situation.
The lie was serving your interests. You admit that.
Yes.
So you are willing to lie if it serves your interests.
Yes.
You lied to the ER doctor, or did you not?
I don't know.
Did you tell the truth to the ER doctor?
I don't remember speaking to the ER doctor.
Okay. That's Michael Redlick, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the 911 call, Ms. Redlick. It has been 11 hours since he's been moved from that location, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
When you pick up the phone to dial 911, it has been 11 hours since Mr. Redlick has been moved from that location,
Yes.
except when you're taking his shirt off, right?
Yes.
And mopping around him
Right.
and moving his arm to clean under it.
Yes.
Other than that, he hasn't moved
Yes.
for 11 hours. Yes?
Yes.
You had had nearly half a day to figure out what you were going to say on the 911 call.
Objection, Judge, can we approach?
Yes.
Ms. Redlick, you've had nearly half a day to figure out what to say, correct?
Yes.
And you are standing in the home with that man in that position when you finally pick up the phone, correct?
Yes.
And you know he's dead. There's no question. You know he's dead.
Yes.
Publishing what's in evidence is States 32.
Higher level. I don't know. My husband's deceased.
So that's the first dispatcher you talked to, right?
Okay, yes.
You talked to two dispatchers, right?
I didn't know that I did.
Well, do you want to listen to confirm?
No, it's okay.
No, it's important. So if you're not sure, let's confirm.
No, I talked to two dispatchers.
So you do know that.
Okay, yes.
So that's the first dispatcher you speak to, right?
Yes.
And you tell the first dispatcher that you speak to, quote, "I think my husband is deceased," end quote, right?
Yes.
That's a lie. You knew he was deceased.
Okay, yes.
That was a lie, yes?
I said I think.
Yes, you said "I think" when you knew.
Probably just an excited utterance. Yes, I knew. Of course I knew.
Of course you knew. Yep.
We'll see that number. 1231 Temple Drive, Water Park. Yes, okay, you know what, my jurisdiction, let me get, verify the phone on the line, hold on one moment. says, or 1231 Temple Drive in Winter. Alright, 1231 Temple Drive, right? Yes. Okay, thank you. What's going on at 1231 Temple Drive? I believe my husband is deceased.
Now you've told a second 911 operator, I believe my husband is deceased. You heard yourself say that?
Yes, I did.
You knew your husband was deceased, didn't you?
I did.
So you lied to that 911 operator.
It was just a figure of speech.
It is a false impression, isn't it?
I can't answer that. I don't know what the person thought.
No, you were giving a false impression that you have some confusion about the state of your husband's.
No, I didn't think that was in my head at all.
And why do you believe he was here? Because he's been, he's sick, and he's really might have a heart attack, I don't know.
Okay? You were asked why, and you say he's stiff, he's wounded, he might have had a heart attack. I don't know. You heard yourself say that, right? You did not believe that your husband had a heart attack, Ms. Redlick.
Actually, I did. I was hoping, too.
You were hoping.
Not in the morbid sense that I wanted him dead, but he had heart problems, and I thought with all of that excitement that perhaps he did.
So, because if he had a heart attack, you wouldn't have been responsible for his death.
Yes, to an extent.
But you knew he hadn't had a heart attack. You knew it.
Objection asked and answered.
I could not completely rule that out.
Standing there, having mopped up all that blood, taking all these towels that are stuffed in his bag and soaked them through with Michael's blood. You thought that it was possible he had died of a heart attack.
Thought there was a possibility. It was very quick, and I just wasn't.
No, actually, it happened last night. It happened last night? Correct. Okay. How did it happen? 65. Okay, we'll back through. This morning, because I know you said that you believe that happened last night. Did you see him last night? Was he okay, or was he was not okay last night? We had altercations, and to have himself, and I ran.
So you were asked what happened, and you explained we had an altercation and he stabbed himself. This was a lie, Ms. Redlick.
Yes,
And you wanted this 911 operator to believe your lie, correct?
yes.
It came out, I tried to help him, and I thought he was blind, what? And you say, I asked help him out, and then I correct, yes. Alright. And then I tried to help him.
You were asked again. You say he stabbed himself. In your response, correct, yes. You heard yourself say that?
Yes,
That was a lie too.
yes,
So you've lied now twice.
yes.
And I thought I woke up sitting up next to him. And I've been trying to figure out what to do. Right. I got you. I'll make it some help, You all had an altercation last night, correct? Yeah. Alright. What's your name? seeing them?
Nice.
A night? He said he was 64, right?
65.
I'm sorry?
65.
65. So, okay. Go ahead and give me your birthday again, because I want to call you Danielle. Danielle. Okay, so Danielle, let me ask you this. So, did he stab himself last night? Did he pass last night? And you just didn't know what to do?
Correct, I believe so.
For a third time in this call, you have said that Michael stabbed himself, correct?
Yes.
And this is the third time you've lied.
Yes.
You want this 911 operator to believe this lie, correct?
Yes.
Were you all drinking? You were?
Yes, he was. And the Altercation was 942, but I left the house. And to find out what the city was dancing on too.
Were your kids there last time during this altercation?
No, we were not. We were not here, and not there now.
I know you first said that you thought he had a heart attack. So do you think it was a heart attack, or do you think it was due to the fact that he passed away?
Probably the stabbing triggered it, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shoulder wound.
You think it's a shoulder wound?
Right.
I'm just getting all this information. Okay. How do you know?
45.
I'm just getting everything you told me for the call. Okay, I have multiple units for the county, and I have police nearby. Okay, give me your husband's first name. Michael, what's the last name?
Like R-E-D-L-E-C-K.
What is his date of birth?
5153.
Here right now, right? And your children are there, right? Okay.
No, we're not.
Can you go ahead and move that house away? So my units will be able to get in there. Are you able to put that? Where's the knife?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
Redlick, R-E-D-L-E-C-K.
Go ahead and verify your phone number for me.
Number 901-355-4234.
And what time do you think you all have to start altercation and go staff and stuff?
I think it started around 10:30. He was actually joking me and trying to put the case first. I actually went for the knife. And he was screaming, what were you gonna do? Lindsay, we gave you a staff meeting, he grabbed it.
To the 911 operator, you told her that Mr. Redlick choked you, didn't you?
I think I said choked, yes.
You said choked.
Yes.
You have not testified to this jury that you've been choked by
No.
Mr. Redlick.
No.
So that was a lie.
Wrong choice of word, yes.
Not the truth.
No.
So therefore a lie.
Wrong choice of word.
Let's back it up a little bit.
What were you gonna do? Lindsay, we gave you a staff meeting, he grabbed it. And that's when he did it in the emotion, and I ran out of the room.
You heard yourself say that he grabbed it, correct?
Yes.
That was a lie.
Yes.
And because the knife was never in his hand.
No.
And when you said he made a motion, that was a lie.
I felt like he made a motion where you're going to stab me.
Is that what you were communicating there, Ms. Redlick?
I thought I was.
No, Ms. Redlick, you know that you were saying.
Objection,
He had the knife in his
argumentative.
hand.
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained, rephrase your question.
Ms. Redlick, when you said he grabbed it and he made a motion, you were describing Mr. Redlick with the knife in his hand making a motion towards himself, correct?
At that point, yes.
And that's a lie.
Yes.
That's a detailed lie, correct?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
You are making up specific details to build out this lie, are you not?
I think I'm mixing some of the truth with some of the false.
Oh, so you're mixing truth and false.
Yes.
I want to focus on the false.
Okay.
You are creating details that are not real to make this lie more convincing, correct?
No, I just don't know what to say. I wasn't prepared to answer yes the way I should have.
Ms. Redlick, you are willing to make up specific and detailed lies when they serve your interests, are you not?
Willing, I guess in this instance I did do that, yes.
You are willing to make specific and detailed lies if you believe it will serve your interests, correct?
In that instance, yes.
You had hoped that this 911 operator and anyone who heard this recording would have believed those specific and detailed lies you told, correct?
No, I don't think I was thinking that intensely about it in terms of people believing it at that point. The situation was an entire mess, and I knew that.
10:30 p.m. And when did you go back to check on work? Did you stay there?
You know, I stayed in the bathroom for a while, and he came to the bathroom door and it was closed, and he was sitting stuff. I was just trying to stay away from him, and I heard some moaning and stuff, and I was scared that Bobby went to check on him, and I could see that he was out of it. And I ran looking at his blood, and it was heavily bloody. So I tried to, I was like, he was already, I was trying to give him knock him out.
Is there a reason why you didn't call last night?
Yeah, in the movie or place, and I didn't think anybody would believe me. I was just trying to get him to wake up.
You told the 911 operator that the reason why you didn't call was because you were too busy trying to wake him up, correct?
Yes.
That was a lie.
Wait, what?
The reason why you didn't call 911 was because you were too busy trying to wake Michael up.
And I wasn't sure if people would believe me. Like I said.
And I was exhausted after I fell asleep sitting up next to him. He tried to hurt myself this morning. It doesn't look good. The emergency people are here.
Okay, so go ahead now, okay? Go ahead.
He was drinking stuff. I was just trying to get him to wake up. And I was exhausted after I fell asleep sitting up next to him. He tried to hurt myself this morning. It doesn't look good.
You said at the end of that call, before you noticed police and fire out front, it doesn't look good for me.
Yes.
And that's the truth, Ms. Redlick. It doesn't look good.
Objection argumentative.
Sustained, rephrase your question.
I have no further questions of this witness.
Right. Counsel approach.